I was brand new here to myself. I have it open.
Dear Mary.
Just change it to, I have a digital copy along with printed agenda. For them.
You have extras?
I printed agendas, nothing else.
Oh, so I are.
It's not yours, but it is.
So I have a few agendas here.
Are those the extras of these things?
Yep.
Did you get one? Yes.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live.
Here we go. Hey, let's call the meeting to order. Okay. Call the meeting to order at 7:34. First organizational meeting, January 2023. First agenda, everybody has the agenda in front of them. I have no changes or adjustments at this time.
One thing.
Go ahead.
On the approval of minutes, we're approving the minutes for December 20th, 2022.
Public comment.
It's great to be here as a member of the public.
Well, you got about 3 hats on. Okay, the first item of business is oath of office, and since I'm one of the people involved, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff.
Okay, so I will have you repeat after me. I, Michael Poost,
I, Michael Fuchs,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee of the East Greenbush Community Library according to the best of my ability.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee of the East Greenbush Community Library to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Now. 5 years.
Yeah.
Now you're up.
Oh, I'm going to be trying.
You have to sign this, but you also.
I got it. No, you're going to be called. Oh, I get.
You should do Charles.
I should be Charlie.
Yes.
Okay. Charlie, repeat after me. I never did it this form.
I had to, I remember it was over Zoom.
I said, here's the form, read it and sign it.
I said,
I, Charlie Pensabene, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee of the East Greenbush Community Library according to the best of my ability.
I will faithfully discharge the duties of the East Greenbush Community Library according to the
Trustee.
trustee, according to the best of my abilities.
All right. So you're gentlemen, you get a sense of this.
That sounds like we're going to prison.
like the Chrisleys. Miss the oath of office.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
That's okay. Sorry, I was at practice. Am I supposed to?
Or you could have put it and then you vote for that.
Now that missed my opportunity.
How are you feeling?
Good, much better, thank you.
And 2, 3. Okay, the next thing listed here is annual organization paperwork. Conflict of interest, conflict of interest, code of ethics. For the first item.
They are two
They are
separate
two
things
separate
that are
things.
stapled together. If you could please sign both. Question, what do you use for title?
I did trustee.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, yeah, I think everybody can say trustee.
That's because that's also a staff policy, so it's staff. Some of those, you guys sign both.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Then we have the calendar. Do we want to have any discussion on the calendar?
Side or.
And next is the calendar.
So there's nothing, we don't really have to approve the
That's
calendar, but there are some things listed on here that are highlighted that are different. to this original. So I think we have consensus that we're ready to do this. What, the first thing would be that meetings will change, generally the third Tuesday of every month. From 7:30 to 7 o'clock.
Is that okay with everybody?
Starting in.
Yeah.
Starting in February.
Well, I asked if I should show up at 7 o'clock. Okay, and the first variation from being the third Tuesday is February, which I believe you proposed to move to the first Monday, or second Monday.
February 13th. So February and April fall during the February and April. So you're proposing to move, we have a date for February, Monday, February 13th.
April's to be determined.
I'm okay with it, so.
And then, committee meetings. There are some conflicts, so there are 3 days there we should figure out.
I just ask a question. I noticed that we're not having committee meetings for July, but we're having a July board meeting, and then we're having committee meetings in August, but no board meeting. So would we want to flip something so that the committee meeting and
You might
board
want
meeting?
to,
Okay.
as president, as future president, and vice president.
Okay.
That,
Yeah.
yeah, that, I think last year that was sort of an oddity that happened. We also ended up pushing with what happened with the whole Elizabeth thing. We pushed the whole budget process slipped
Right.
and everything got pushed. But I think for now, this basically is fine. This is our plan, and we'll make adjustments as we have to go.
So the service committee will be the first Monday of every month from 5 to 6, and admin 6:30 to 7:30, so we're flipping.
Is that
We're
okay?
switching the times of committees. Who meets first and who meets second?
Yep.
Strategic planning still has to be added in.
Right.
Once we have person. All right. Library election day. This is the first, has been shifted to the day of the board meeting.
General election is the 7th of November.
What's that?
The general election that Tuesday is November 7th. So
Okay. Those are the days, I guess, we're closed. Okay. So, I don't think there's any action on them. Bank signature cards you're doing.
So I have the bank signature cards here, so if you are president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer, I need, you got an email about that, so I'll have you at the meeting.
Now.
According to the bylaws, yes.
Oh, I understand that.
This will replace.
Place the other, okay. Checks it.
You still have to be elected.
What?
You still have to be
Oh, that's-
Does he? No.
No, I don't have to be elected for anyone.
But you
I'm
couldn't
not
still
an officer
potentially.
anymore. As of probably in about 5 minutes, I won't be an officer.
Oh, it won't last long. I'll let you be a committee chair.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't have signing purposes on that. Okay, that covers 4. Item 5, election of officers and committee chair appointments. Start with election of officers. Nominating committee, Mary, that's you.
I suppose it's to introduce a motion to accept the slate of officers that we presented last month. That would be Lynn Audekirk as president, myself as vice president, treasurer is Katie, and secretary.
Motion, do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Carries? Done.
Wow, congratulations.
If I had a gavel, I would hand it to you. We've never had it, so now it's yours.
Here's mine, and I want to tell you, Michael, it's gonna be big shoes to fill your shoes. It totally is, and I want to thank you. Thank you for, like your decade, decades. This is really quite amazing. Decades of service as president of the board. You have been a mentor to all of us, trustees over the years, certainly myself included, and I really do appreciate your leadership, your efforts on behalf of the library. They're significant, they're meaningful, they're just stunning, the role you have in the library's development. I think everyone here knows, but I just want to remind you that he has been on the board for more than 30 years. Or is it exactly 30 years? I think it's.
Plus 5 months.
Not that he counted.
Almost.
It was August of 92. It was my first meeting. And 2 weeks after I got on the board, I believe was the only defeated budget vote. Library vote.
So there you go. You've almost the entire time you served as president of this 30-year span, a couple of years, the exception in that. He shepherded the library through the entire envisioning, purchase of land, architectural development, building, and the creation of this library that we all love so much. It's just an amazing community center. But, we certainly have always exploited your expertise as an architect, but it's a lot more than that, because what Michael has done is have really steady leadership, presence in terms of where we are, what we need to do, always keeping the library, the staff, the community, the building in mind. So we really do appreciate it. And there's been a lot that's occurred in the year that we will begin to say, but certainly we've had budgetary ups and downs and through it several directors and we did have COVID. Maybe we still do have COVID, which presented all kinds of challenges, but just numerous changes and just who is the community and what are the communities needs. So there will never be another 30-year president of the board of this library. I
Charlie.
say that. Sure, unless it's Charlie. But the library is stronger for having had you at the helm for so long. And I speak from my heart to say thank you.
Well, thank you. I did not prepare a speech.
Well, you got it prepared from last month. But we do have a cake. We cut the cake. Would like a piece of cake. It's from Zachary's.
I'll ditch this out. I would
You
also like
never
to,
talked
like,
to her about coming me into service.
I did,
Yeah.
I brought it up.
At
Because I
book club you
wanted-
did.
yeah,
I still caught.
but
And
I
Jill
also,
made some comment about, is this really your last year? And I went home and I said that to Denise and she says, don't you start.
but we very much appreciate that you stayed with us, you know,
I know.
after the presidency, because it's a
And
big
then you want a
transition.
water
I really
bottle,
can't-
Michael?
Yes, please. I really care about this place.
Mhm,
That's my
Clearly,
favorite.
You're
clearly,
still on the board.
right.
Now, how many pieces? One?
Thank you.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Come
on,
everyone,
Come on,
everyone.
I'll be
Oh, I have no
insulted.
willpower.
Come on.
Yes, please. I'm doing it for Michael, that's the only reason I'm having it, please.
I was gonna say, I'd be insulted.
I know, and that's the only reason I'm.
Thank you.
I can't remember.
Hurt to work out this morning.
Did you take a picture of the top?
All right, that's gonna
I never
count.
saw that.
Did I set it back?
They gave me a small one.
Oh, yeah, they did. Thank you.
You don't want any milk?
I'm allergic.
Oh, okay. Allergic just to eat it or?
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I didn't know if you had an allergy to.
No, yeah,
I brought mine
yeah,
over.
if you need it, I'm not gonna die, if I need it, I'll feel like.
Oh, really?
It's better for me.
Well, not from all.
No, it is.
So I guess my dinner will be my dessert tonight. My dessert will be Greenbush, that works.
It does make resisting cake a lot easier though.
Maybe one of them.
I have water. Thank you. Silver line. Yeah. Here. I have,
Here, you go.
Thank you. No, we got enough. I gave her one. I have some good.
They might have seen me come in.
Not.
They're trying to tell me
It's delicious,
something.
thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
It looks. I've heard good things.
You did well.
Yeah.
And I,
They're always one of the top
promised
recommendations.
Denise
is
is
bringing
bringing
cakes.
the extra on. So it's really good together.
That's why I didn't get dessert.
Probably why. Okay, so.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. We're very happy you're still with us.
I'll get too emotional if I start talking about it.
But this place means a lot to me and it always will.
Mhm.
And we have enough acreage so we can double the size of it. I said, I didn't want anybody to ever have to go through a search for a new location. Yeah. Well, that's why we have this big field.
Get to talk about it with strategic.
And our original third site was for the town.
Mhm.
And I had it all arranged that the town would take over the third site and it would ultimately become the new town hall.
Mhm.
Police station, you know, put it all,
Yeah.
all up there, and this would be the whole town center.
Mhm.
And what's his name, the supervisor back there,
Rick McCabe,
oh, before him,
Aunt Bob Angelini,
oh, before him,
Phil Gauze,
no,
Vicky Van Voorst.
Van Voorst.
See, I was right.
It was, oh, it was Van Voorst, and Van Voorst said to me, he said, Mike, if I get reelected, I'll do it. And then we'll see. And I forget which one of the ones you named. was
Phil
the
Gauze,
next one.
yep. Yep, Gauze was the one for one term.
Whoever was right after him. I went to talk to him and I said, you know, this is sort of in the plans. And I sort of had it worked out with the Y that we would just give it to the town. So, and how interesting.
Wow.
I mean, for years, it could have been a nice little, another little park,
Yep.
something, and
Could have maybe sold the current town to some private sector person, done taxes, yeah, would have been a great spot.
that building never really worked.
Nope.
I mean,
Well, here we are. So I guess I move on to Mary.
Yes, because you have a time frame you have.
I do.
That's right. Okay. I have circulated the December 20th, 2022 board meeting minutes. Did get some feedback and I made those changes. There are some, do you have?
I moved up. I didn't make it. Maybe it's like that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, let's go back to number 5. The committee chairs for the services committee, Amanda and Cammie will serve on the committee, and Mary Harris will be the chair. I will be an ex officio member. And administrative committee, Charlie and Katie will be on the committee, and Michael will be the chair. And I will be an ex officio member of that. And finally, and is my privilege, is the president, I'm committee, so I'm sent out a piece of paper about creating an ad hoc committee. The other two are standing committees and it's in the bylaw, but this ad hoc means it's just in business as long as the terms are sent out. Piece of paper that describes the purpose of the committee, which is really to work with our building commission, so the consultant, and to be the liaison between that person and the board. Reports every month, certainly providing updates to the budget committee and say begin their work based on what we're finding might be immediate needs. And then finally to finish their work by sending a recommendation to the board once the report is complete, to say what they recommend the board accept as intermediate needs in terms of I'm going to create that committee, and I ask and welcome anyone to join. So I'm just going to create it tonight, and then I will announce in the February meeting based on the feedback I get from people, hopefully at least 2 for this committee. But I expect the work to be done within 3 or 4 months.
Well, they said basically 8 weeks, so I would up that to 12 weeks and approximately 3 months.
Well, please, I encourage people to let me know if they're interested in serving.
And the other one is the budget committee, which Katie automatically chairs, the treasurer. And, but that one is usually open to anybody. Serve on.
Down there.
So circulated minutes. And I made the changes that people identified. I did notice there's some typos that I missed. I don't know if you want me to point them out. I can. Other than that, I don't know if anybody has questions or comments or concerns.
And I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved, since I never made.
All right.
No, Michael, and do I have a second from Charlie? Okay, that being done, is there any discussion about the minutes? Vote, all those in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous. All right. Now we go to the treasurer's report. Tonight I'll be giving that report. So I sent out a report, and I'm happy to say a couple things. Number one, it's my last report. No, specifically, I'm thrilled that this year in January, we are closing out last year on time. So you will be asked to review and approve the 22 year-end financials, including the depreciation, as well as the activity for the period December 14th through January. The, would also be asked to approve the engagement of Brian's and Bruglia CPAs, because that is our goal to get, started, it's actually on the scheduled for February's start date. For February. And I draw your attention to the fact that we did finish as projected. We finished fiscal year 22 with an excess of income of $111,787.55. We're asking as a result of that, and that's after putting the $169,250 that was budgeted to be in reserves, putting that in reserves is still in excess. So we are asking for your approval to reallocate $68,141 from the fiscal year 22 fund balance to the 23 budget to cover three expenses: the strategic planning consultant, the building conditions survey consultant, and $10,000 to cover the costs of renovating the library back office to accommodate one new employee and also address a number of just long-standing issues with the way the cubicles is figured. Because that will accommodate the position we approved last year for an admin assistant. So, that said,
I just have one question. Is it allowed right now or should I wait for discussion?
I think we typically do a motion and then we have discussion. So if you want to make a motion, or entertain a motion to approve something
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the finances.
for the off warrant, to accept the off warrant.
Okay, are you doing that, or do you want to do the other?
Well, what is your question about?
My question, I think it's simple, but I just want to confirm. So the off warrant is listed 12/14/22 through 1/12/23, meaning the next report will go from 1/13/23 until
The
whenever
next meeting date,
I close it before the,
yes.
that's what I wanted to
Okay,
confirm.
in that case. So I will entertain a motion on the off, to accept the off.
Sorry. I don't know where the monies are for allocating from the fund balance,
Yeah, that,
but the contracts are associated with those, so I didn't know if you wanted to wait to do that.
Well, if so, we would move that to executive session.
If there's any discussion.
If there's
people
any
need to
discussion,
discuss, yes.
but the only thing might want to suggest there is the allocation, I believe, is fairly close, $23,621 to the gauge.
We did, yeah, okay.
I normally would round those numbers up with a little safety factor, because those are the prices, but usually there may be some expenses related to that.
The reason we didn't is that we have $10,000.
Okay,
So we felt like we had.
you have cushion,
Cushion.
you have cushion, okay.
Already approved to cover any of our incidental expenses.
Okay. That works.
Do we second the off warrant? Yeah,
Who made,
I think Cammy made
Oh,
the
you
other
got
one.
one in different order.
There's a.
we're doing it off one.
Yeah, okay, there's a motion for
There is
that.
a.
I
said
said
I
any
didn't.
discussion, that's why I thought.
My intentions. were
Oh,
not-
to make the
my wording
motion?
was
Oh,
poor.
okay, so then we need a second.
This is going well.
It's a first.
He's got 30 years practice, Michael.
You're doing fine.
Okay, so did we,
So
so you have what you need then?
Someone make a
Katie
second.
made motion, Katie seconded, Kim seconded, and sorry, Mary, you left out.
Okay, is there any discussion on the off warrant, which I have included, it was in the amount of $103,890.14. Hearing no discussion, I'm going to vote. All those in favor? Okay, Okay, the warrant, warrant this month, for the date, January 12th, is an amount of $29,095.11. I indicated which part was gift and grant and also was operating and identified a few of the larger businesses. Motion to authorize the president to sign the warrant.
Make it.
In a second, Charlie. Any discussion? Any questions?
Just a quick clarification, all checks are being cut from operating, remember, even though it's,
Yes.
So that's, you're right. So,
What does that change?
The gifting, so shall I,
well, you will,
it'll still be,
they're still gifting grant funds. Remember, this is the first year that we're including all of our funds in our budget. So we have money that we have allocated from our gifted grant account that will come into our account. And so we're tracking them. You'll still see them listed as restricted or non-restricted gifts. But the check itself will be cut from operating. We have the money, we do the transferring money.
So
That'll be it.
is that in the warrant?
So the warrant,
Includes gift and grant checks,
yes.
is what you're talking, okay.
Well, but the checks don't actually come from gifted grant.
I understand, but it's gift and grant funds, money.
So-
so it's still, this is actually correct, because it is gift and grant money, it's just
Yes.
not a gift and grant check, and that
Yes.
has more to do with the new, than really
It's-
anything. So, any questions?
This is only gonna be confusing to Katie.
Okay.
so should the report next month look the way it looks right now, or
Yes.
should it just say, so it should look like this?
It is.
You'll have a full
Have an
warrant.
awareness, just an awareness that the checks are all cut from one account.
Yes.
I'll explain.
I've
And
never
money
had
will-
an awareness otherwise, so that's just fine.
Money will be added into that account to cover, from gift and grant to cover.
Yes.
Do you have to put in the memo or anything that it came from gift and grant?
So it says on the warrant itself where,
If you look at the report.
Oh, I'm sorry, yep,
Yes.
we got it.
so yes, it's indicated.
You didn't
Where it's
study the
coming
report.
No, I didn't know.
So we have something in QuickBooks that keeps track of everything.
Sorry.
Yep. And so you'll see it'll come from operating, restricted friends grants,
Restricted.
Sorry.
yeah, there's, but that's a good one.
Any other discussion? Up to a vote, all those in favor? Any, no one opposed, unanimous, okay, now we get to the financials. Okay, so it starts, with a proposal to approve the year-end financials with 100% of the year completed as shown, and as I indicated, we ended up the year under budget in virtually every category except so, and our income was at 99.3% of budget. We applied the depreciation, if you look under the balance sheet, depreciation was applied to the fixed assets, reducing them by $48,463.62. We had, when I spoke to you last, we said we were going to depreciate monthly, but when we got to the reality of what that meant, we made a decision to do it annually.
It's actually, it's like the bank thing, it's depreciating on a daily basis, but it's only being recorded
Once a
annually.
year. Because if anybody has any question about it, you can, but it really, it's what we've always done, we're gonna continue to do it this way.
And how would we determine, excuse me, those values?
Jill has a spreadsheet and you'll get a copy of the spreadsheet and it shows every single item, its purchase date, its purchase price, how long it depreciates over, and then it's just a matter.
A formula that's like plugged into an Excel sheet.
So once a year, so it's.
The problem is that when you put depreciation into Quicken or QuickBooks, Quicken is the same way. Depreciation or a change in value of something, it creates it and turns it into either income or expense. Like if your house increases in value and you put that in, all of a sudden you have an income line that shows up in the report and it messes up the whole report.
It changes it's the P and L.
If we had an expense that was to buy furniture, normally we would have a line there against a budget item and there would be the expense against it. Well, instead the line would take that money out of the expense, so you wouldn't see that we spent that money there, and it would put it into depreciation, whatever percentage of depreciation it depreciated that year. So it's really not it's not helpful for it's helpful for a company profit and loss, but not for a budget versus actual, which is what we're doing.
I will entertain a motion to approve the 2022 year-end financials with 100% of the year completed. So Michael, seconds. Any more discussion on that? So I'll entertain a vote. Those in favor? In favor?
Yes.
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, so the question is then, I will, I already talked about the motion to allocate $68,121 from our 2022 fund balance to the budget. And why we want it in the budget is because we are going to have expenses against this. To insolvency or furniture. If there, I will entertain a motion, but if there's going to be discussion about it, we should really move it to an executive session along with all the discussion about those three contracts, so those two contracts. Not, I'll entertain a motion. Amy, you make the motion to allocate the money to our budget. Michael seconds it. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Position unanimous. Okay. The 2023 financials will be quick. 4% of the year is completed. There is no income. There's a tiny bit of expense. But really, $50,000, I believe, because we had a payroll. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the January 13th financials? Mary, Katie seconded it. Any discussion on that? I did not do a balance sheet.
So it's just an income and expense.
There's a balance sheet. Is there a balance sheet? Yeah. Yes, I do have a balance sheet. So, I mean, we had, any other discussion or questions on the balance sheet?
So it just becomes part of the financials.
Not for that.
Not for this one,
This is the motion to approve the
not the
January
2023
13th
financials.
Did we have them?
Yep, motions are done.
Any other discussion? Okay, now I'll entertain a vote to approve. Unanimous. Okay, I welcome Katie. You'll do a great job and ask questions.
You should know that already.
I appreciate that. Under committee reports, there were no committee meetings this month.
Not the committee business meetings.
Committee,
We've had one organization.
and the next one is Thursday. So was there a report out of admin?
I don't think so. No, because what we did is the business part of admin, we pushed into new business.
It was just the
Business.
training.
So it was really just the training that we had.
So no report for admin, any report for services? Yep. So we have no report for services. Jill, director's report?
Okay, well, so in your packet, I tried to provide a year-end report on our strategic plan for the year, where we are to date. So are there any questions about that? Because I'm gonna give you another report about December right now, but I'm happy to answer questions about this.
I loved it.
I did too, it was terrific.
It was,
Yeah.
yes.
I was just a little confused. Yeah, I didn't know that this was a director's report. I just got confused, was it strategic plan? What was it? You know,
Well, didn't
I
she-
got confused. But then I read through it for a while, then I said, oh, okay, it's the year-end
Yeah.
report.
But didn't she say she wasn't doing, like she was just gonna do a verbal director's report?
Well, but this is still a director's report and it's under, so I don't know, I found it a little awkward when
I could change it.
it's okay, I'll be a year removed.
Well, by then, there will be
Hopefully, we'll
a,
be
be a new one.
And actually, we're hoping to maybe shift some of the reporting so that it follows our plan.
It's great. Action,
Plan and
action
action, so it's like action items instead of
Action
a standard
steps.
report. Okay, but because this was for 2022, I'm gonna give you just a little bit of an update. Right. Meeting rooms, it's, well, a couple things. One, we finished painting in the multi-purpose room. And so the very last thing is to hang up our art gallery in the
And then the
multi-purpose room.
construction grant will be done.
And then the construction grant will be done. So we already own it, we just need to hang it up. And that will come to committee because we will need to update our exhibit. All exhibit.
I remember the original plan, included lighting.
No lighting.
There's no lighting.
So can you, what committee would that go to for,
Service,
I'm not sure what you said it was for.
the exhibit policy,
Oh,
So
that we
we
don't
have-
have.
You have a new
Because we
exhibit
have to
place.
a new exhibit location.
Okay.
So about when do you think that the art installation will be?
Well, it's gonna be done as soon as Paul has a chance to do it, but when we go live with it will be after the policy is approved. So that'll be something that in this next month will be presented to you. And I don't
So it'll go
anticipate
to
it'll be a
committee,
really
it'll go to-
complicated change.
It'll go to committee in the next.
It'll go to committee in our next meeting, committee meeting. We had, so in November, if you might remember, we opened the meeting rooms in October. Now the her room is being, the her education center is being used regularly because that's more of an individual room and we have the E&L classes there and that's being used very regularly. But it was a very slow reopening to these multi-purpose rooms. So in November, we had two groups with 60 people use the rooms. And in December, we had 9 groups with 157 people. So it's word of mouth. It's gonna start, people are gonna start using the rooms again. So this is a really good sign. And we did that purposefully. We didn't go out with a lot of PR about this because it was a new policy and new procedures. We wanted to iron them out before we went crazy with marketing. So it's good. We've had good feedback. We really haven't had any things we need to tweak.
And we also had that room closed for a week in December, the multipurpose room for meeting. We registered 98 new library card holders in December, which is great. 7,272 people visited the library, 514 people in addition to that used the drive-through window. Items were borrowed 22,512 times in the library and 14,413 digital borrowing. Times Union, the digital Times Union is still the most popular digital resource. 9,518 times it was accessed last month. So that's our most popular resource by far. They think that's get it up there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, the Times Union subscription department is so bad. This is a welcome alternative.
We're live.
They may not be able to get it.
I will say that, I will go on State Street, Albany. And I've written a letter to what's his name, the editor of it.
President, get them under control. So depending on timing, either at the February meeting or the March meeting, you'll have the annual report to the state to approve, but you should have some year to year. And I'll try to, I remember last month, there were some questions about how does this compare to pre-pandemic, so I'll do some work to not just compare to last year, but compared to pre-pandemic too, so you can kind of see where we are. We did a technology inventory, so that was completed, and we removed several items from our depreciation list that we no longer own. Had 298 people attend 13 adult programs with 19 sessions. And we had a popular one. We did our very first, this was actually in my directors, in the strategic plan focusing too, but we did the first hybrid trivia event, which was really fun. So what that means is people were participating in the program in person and participating virtually. And so we've been able to do that because of this digital meeting room software that we're having here. And that was a great success, and we are going to be conducting other programs like this. So an update, I think I told a few of you this, but the AARP tax aid prep we had originally hosted here at the library. And we really wanted this program to be here. But the person who was coordinating it before passed away, and the person who just was coordinating it, our partner with AARP, was also trying to coordinate multiple sites, and it was not working well. So we still have the partnership with them, and we did a lot of training here, and they allowed them to use our site for training. And we really hope that they'll come here next year when they have enough capacity to really run the program well. But it is a massive undertaking, and we wanted to do it well. So we decided very regretfully that we're not going to do it this year. A lot of other adult services updates, displays, staff picks, best of 2022 books. That was a fun display this month. Day hub groups, adult day hub groups for the library, they more than doubled from November to December. So just another thing that's becoming more pressure. We had 22 groups with 101 people in November and 53 groups with 260 people in December.
So that's comparing from November to December versus what you had prior to the pandemic? I mean, was it anticipated that these groups are going to be coming back?
So it was actually a significant challenge on our resources pre-pandemic, and then pandemic happened, and now it's becoming even more challenging because the resources outside of the library have. There's just not as many
So when you
options.
call them groups, you just mean that they come together with a supervisor, but it's not a program.
There are JHAD programs
Here,
just all over in this area, and then, yes,
but I meant.
not library sponsored. Correct. These are outside groups that are coming in
not registering. You know, because they're just coming in as
The van-
community
the van
members,
arrives.
but the van arrives and
So that's what you're calling it,
that's a day out.
that
Yep.
van that comes with the staff.
Right.
And they are in the main library,
Yes.
basically locate themselves just
Yeah.
about the library.
Yep.
And how do you count them?
So we have asked them to sign in. And not, for the real purpose of that is we've had group members get from their group leaders because they go all over the place and there's a crisis that happens and we need to know who to contact over the loudspeaker. So that's a real reason. So we've been keeping track of that and when they come in, you know, our reference staff will go over to the group leader and just ask them to register. And we don't register who the people are, we'll just take a number of people and then we also want to know what group they're coming from, what program, so that we can connect with that program too. Because we have in the past connected with those programs. I need to get into the details of that, but there's a lot of turnover. So there's a lot of challenge keeping up those relationships because there's turnover. So moving on to youth programs, and that'll be something we are gonna need to address in strategic planning for sure. But we will be internally addressing some of it prior to strategic planning. If we're continually talking about this. Youth programs, 1,300 people attended 16 youth programs, that's children and teen, 30 sessions in December. We had 2 teen programs that had to be canceled because of weather. The teen room was staffed for 15 days in December and 84 teens used the teen room. We are seeing more and more teens coming to the library and just being in the general library, not just in the teen room. So. Children's room displays what's cooking, winter holidays, and our new library assistants, Elizabeth and Jessica, they've been busy making the children's room a nice, welcoming place. We have monthly scavenger hunts, some fantastic bulletin boards, joke of the week displays, interactive educational features that kids can explore while visiting the library. So there's a lot of energy happening. This month, kids can find different sets of winter animal footprints on the floor, and they can decorate a snowflake for their wishes for New Year on our Blizzard of Wishes window display. Cute. We had 4 kindergarten classes visit the library from June in December. The kids, it was really cute. The kids, they watched a puppet skit, and they're having to take care of their library books with Miss Jen and Miss Molly. They also went on a tour of the library. Their favorite thing to do, so they go in the back, their favorite thing to do is the book drop. Wow. Come in, I mean, they were extremely excited, because they have no idea, they put the books in the book drum and then they don't know what happened. Right. So it was really good. Library card applications were sent home with kids several weeks before the field trip. And the majority of the kids received their first library card on the first day of the visit. So I think a lot of that 98 new library card holders were kindergarten. That's cute. And that's my report.
Awesome, wonderful. That's good.
Do you have anything on the personnel memo?
No, there's nothing,
There's nothing there other than listing open positions.
yeah, we do have, yes. I will have next month we do have somebody who retired, a part-timer who retired, the part-time library clerk that'll be on here next month. Got to put it on.
Are they doing any recruitment for any of these positions yet, or no?
No, so I keep these on here, I have another part-time library clerk on here, although some of those hours will be redistributed to other people, so it'll be a smaller position that's left. But we have not filled these positions. The reason we haven't filled them is because their hours have not increased. They're not back to our pre-pandemic hours. And
Well, I'm glad we proposed.
well, it's not as simple as that, and I we need to decide to either we are going to extend our hours or we're not gonna extend our hours, and I don't wanna do it now, I think we should wait till we get the survey back. We're gonna be asking people about hours, and I think what's gonna happen is the people might want morning hours, and we can do that. And we may not even need these positions to do the morning hours, the only reason that we could probably do the morning hours now with our staff, the only reason I'm hesitant to do it right now is that is great collaboration time, and you'll notice in the strategic planning where one of our focuses was to be more flexible in our scheduling and collaboration, and we really achieved that. If you look at the year-end reports from the departments, they all talked about that, and that was, just their own reports, and that's critical for us moving forward to do that. So I would want to make sure we're being very thoughtful about it. And so I don't want to do it right away, but if we think that that's something that the community really wants, then we can move forward with
Well,
that.
you
I have
could
not
always-
gotten people banging down our door saying, why aren't you open?
But you could also say we open early on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we don't on Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever, like, as long as there's, because it was one day a month, or was it one day a week that they were meeting in the morning, the groups? Or are they meeting more often
This is
than that?
staff. This is
Right.
staff meetings. No, they're meeting very regularly. Because not everybody works Monday through Fridays, it's a way that everybody can collaborate and work together. But there are ways we can do it. There are absolutely ways we can do it. But I would wait until we get some data from the strategic planning. Because I want to make sure that we are using this money for what the community really wants. Is it really from 9 to 9, or do they want us to be doing something else? And if that's staffing money that we have, we don't need to go back out to the voters next year for increasing staff. And people are happy with the hours as is, and we need to solve these other issues using this money. I just want to wait until we know.
Is there a difference, Jill, between the current open unfilled positions? That's what I believe you're referring to. And then we have the new positions that we budgeted for.
Yeah. So those,
Would
yes.
you be recruiting for those?
These are gonna go, we're gonna
regardless?
start recruiting for those.
Yes,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, so those you're gonna read.
We're starting the administrators. Yes, as soon as we have them confirmed, we have a spot for them to be, we will post them.
Okay, I guess we can move on to old business. So as far as the strategic planning consultant, that we have interviews with 3 of the firms. And I know most of us, some of us attended, and others of us listened in. On conversations. It was feeling that the Maxine, my wife and associates was the choice of the 3. So I entertain a motion to advise the director to engage Maxine and my wife and associates to do the strategic planning process.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Conversation, if we have any conversation about the contract itself, we should move into executive session. But if it's just a general question. No? Not, we'll vote, all those in favor? Yes. You want to talk about the bill? I saw your name was there. Do you
Sure,
want to talk about
that's
the
fine.
building, sir?
Friendly condition services, survey, you, and meetings with and discussed the proposal from Hayes Associates to do it. Individual that I contacted or talked to was somebody I've heard from. I know he will do a good job. And they gave us a proposal. I discussed it a bit last time. It's about an 8-week process, so I would, my head, just add 4 weeks to that. It's probably 12 weeks. So there's portions they can't do. They gave us a proposal for $34,500 and sent us a proposed contract. It's a simple letter contract with general conditions attached. I forwarded those, and we forwarded those to Charlie. Charlie took a look at it, and we still have a little back and forth that we've got to do to get that squared away. It's nothing that's going to affect. So I would propose we make a motion for Jill. Right, this one also says the director to engage.
The next page.
Yeah, to engage Hyman Hayes Associates to do the building condition survey, $34,500.
Charlie second.
Charlie second.
Any more discussion, questions?
Falls in the same thing.
Same thing, it's about the
If it's
contract.
nitty-gritty about the contract stuff, then we should go into executive session. If not,
I will entertain a vote. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Finally, I'm very thrilled that we are looking at getting our audit done on time this year. Always our goal to get it in January, February. We are proposing to use the same firm that we used before. They agreed for hold the price for 3 years, so we'll be on year 2. This is already year three of our contract agreement with them. So I will entertain a motion to authorize the director to engage the Minglia CPA firm. And seconded by Charlie. Any questions about this?
Do you, so we have a 3-year contract with them?
no,
It's 30-year
no.
price
They
guarantee.
held the price for 3 years.
Oh, I got
But basically, there's an engagement letter process that they go through every year.
okay.
And essentially Jill has to sign the engagement letter.
Okay.
They said that they sent. That's what accountants do. They send engagement letters.
Mhm.
So the price is $6,000. We've been very. So I know they're a big help for depreciation. That was a big process. Move to the QuickBooks.
I've learned more about finance than I
Thought
thought I would know.
Need to know. Okay, so. Vote. All those in favor? Unanimous? Nice vote. We move on to our liaison reports. I don't have a more friends. I can.
I'll reach out to Julianne and see what
They're meeting.
they had a great, so I can tell you that they had a great planning meeting. They have a lot of faces around the table. This table was full and they are moving their data completely to Kilo, which is an online membership database. They've sort of not using it fully, and they're moving to that. They've got 2 database people, so they have a lot more capacity right now. They're planning. They have some book sale dates coming up. They are talking about their year-end letter, their advocacy for the year, and whether or not they need to do any additional fundraising. So they're doing some data crunching to look at pre-pandemic numbers to see where they are and what they need to do. But they have a group of seemingly very active people. I mean, I think Charlie, you guys did a great job. Really, friends have come back, and They even have a high school student who is, actively talking about what she's doing in the school and had some fantastic ideas and keeps coming and keeps participating, so. Great group of people. I think we're in good hands.
One Ed tonight, so I guess it's you, Tom.
Do I have to use all the time up for the
Do,
friends?
please do.
And for me, because I don't have a recording. I don't have it, sorry, I don't have a recording.
This is, I'm in my element now, this is great.
Okay.
Just real brief, the new county building is nearing completion, parts of it are already occupied. I'd say pretty much close to 100% completion next month. Still things happening, it's going along pretty well.
When will the county clerk be there? Or the, what?
Motor vehicles.
Not motor vehicles.
Clerk is pretty much gonna be going back and forth between the old county building and the new county building. Just set the hours and because he wants to be accessible to both areas. But the motor vehicle will be, I'd say, again, within 4 to 6 weeks. And that'll be a fully functioning motor vehicle with the enhanced licenses, all those types of things. It'll be 5 days a week. So, we used to have it in East Greenbush 1 day a week and Scotia, and they didn't have any of the enhanced stuff. You have to go to Troy for that. It's gonna be a state-of-the-art facility.
So the DMV is totally moving to?
No, there's still gonna be a DMV.
They're keeping a presence?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that'll be there too. And that should cover the whole county. I mean, because we would have to go into Troy. And Troy's still gonna be there, so the people who are in like Spiegeltown or Scotty don't have to come all the way to East Greenbush. It's gonna be the best of both worlds. And fully staffed and all the full services will be there for them. For those of you that want to brave the projected massive rainstorm on Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m. to see the dedication of the tower in Wynantskillet's the emergency services training tower. That's quite an accomplishment. I mean, a lot of people worked hard on that, both the executive and the legislature and the public service staffs, public safety staff. That's going to be state of the art. That's going to help us out from a life-saving perspective. It's going to involve training all of our emergency preparedness staff throughout the county, throughout the towns. It's going to be a fantastic, again, state-of-the-art resource. So it'll be great. One of the reasons we're able to have a new county building and this tower is the sales tax revenue. It's absolutely incredible. It's going up again. It's a very robust sales tax revenue. It's over, I think, $110 million now. Just really incredible. And we're trying to budget it conservatively. We're going to budget lower than that because who knows if it's going to keep going. A couple of years ago, it broke 100 million, which was supposed to be like an impossibility. It was never supposed to be able to get that high, but I guess combination of online, pandemic, people staying on this side of the river. I don't know how long it's going to last, but let's do it while, let's take advantage of it while we can. It's about it. Oh, and one thing, the bond rating of the county is still just barely under elite status, which is another major accomplishment. I'm somewhat cynical a lot of times because all these positive money things, but right now it's all coming together.
How's the bond rating in town?
I don't know. I know it used to be junk bond status and it's progressively gone up. I would guess it's mirroring the counties to some extent.
Because
I don't know what the
if the
current tax rate
library
is.
ever has to bond, that gets done through the town and we get it with whatever. And it was never that high. Because when we did the building, I expected really good rates and was surprised with the rates that we ultimately got.
Yeah, when I first got elected to the town board 8 years ago, was in junk bond status, which was pretty horrible.
Well, 20 years ago wasn't quite that bad.
Yeah. So it's good we didn't have to bond during, the 8 year ago period.
But it's something to keep in mind that if we ever bond, it's basically through the town.
Yeah. My guess is it's probably mirroring the county to some extent in the positive level. That's it. Sorry.
Well, we've, I don't know, is there any new bit?
I think we gotta come up with something. You're not
I
gonna
know,
do this to
look
me.
at this.
Cammy is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cammy doesn't
no,
have
I don't have a report. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Michael.
Do it.
Promise you.
Do it, the most important motion, the most.
No, I just wanted, before he does that, I just want to remind you, Thursday, we
Yes.
do have services committee,
Yeah.
which is mostly an orientation at 5. And then at 7 will be our last training. It lasts an hour this week. And it's being conducted by Upper Hudson. And then at 8, Upper Hudson has agreed to come and talk to us because of the Reading Week, we were training about the rate. There was concern about the rate.
Wanted him
Oh,
to come
He
to
wanted to
Right.
come and talk to Tim about the formula, so we were at, Bill and I were in training there today, and well, as long as he's here. we're having
Well, he
trouble.
couldn't make we put it into,
February, he couldn't make that, and he wanted to come here, I was nervous of being late, I guess it did.
So just to confirm for people who are on the admin committee, 7 o'clock. Okay, I just wanted to make sure there
Unless you
wasn't,
wanna come for a piece of pizza.
I mean, I love a good slice of pizza, but I might cook dinner if we're not coming till 7, so.
And it's completely optional if you wanna stay at 8 after our DEI training and just be part of the conversation about the formula that Dr. Hudson recalculated and just the equity of it for us versus other libraries. Welcome. Decide to stay. Thursday. And, is there any other business?
Those of you who will be having dinner, do you have a preference? What's on the pizza? Or
What time does that start? Is it?
Just a regular Thursday.
Yeah, this is
pizza.
nice.
Is this from Nick's? I might come over.
Oh,
Or Pisons.
Golden grains, golden grain, I think is what I think. And this is because we do training on top of another training.
Yes, I mean,
How many meetings have you gone to in the month of January as board members? Very rarely do we have this many meetings.
But numbers are
Well, normally
mandatory
we have
training,
no
so that
training.
we're,
I know,
Days.
like just after January, and then it's like, slow it down.
it's been a lot.
But
We've
we
had
did
good
get
weather.
that training out of the way, so I think that's.
Yes.
So does anybody have any preference?
I prefer veggie.
Yeah, and I prefer the other direction.
One meat,
One meat, one
there you go. That works.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, I entertain the favorite motion or roll.
So moved.
All right. We knew you could do that. That's great.
Okay, we got a second. I guess we got a unanimous vote, everyone. Yay. Thank you.
Turn off the
Yep.
meeting. The live stream.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good
job. Well done.
I'm safely going home.
Oh, yeah, be
It's very
careful. Yeah,
slippery.
Still is, well.
I know.